My name is Wallace Jeffrey. I was drafted out of St. George. I'm a Manhattan kid. I've lived here since 1931. So I had just got married before I was drafted, and I had a little boy, 3 weeks old, when I had to leave. And before I went overseas, I came home on a furlough, and my wife conceived again, and I had a little girl when I was over in England. Now my outfit was a fighter control outfit. I went to 3 radio schools to learn how to control aircraft. And I got the job of going with mostly the 1st Infantry as on the ground, right with the boys. We went in Normandy. It was be on the 7th of June. Once D-Day was the 6th. We were supposed to go in the 6th, but they were behind schedule, and we went in the next morning. I was on a Liberty ship and crawled over on a rope ladder, got on a dock, and went in on the beach. And then we'll skip forward fast to the Battle of the Bulge. I was located not too far from where Dick said he was from Normandy. And they started dropping paratroopers in our area on the night of the 16th. And we had a 5-man crew. We was always by ourselves. We always tried to find a high point so we could have better radio communications. And we controlled the fighter planes and also some twin-engine bombers, the B-25, the B-26, and the fighter planes were the P-47s, P-38s, and the P-51s. And by the time the Bulge hit, we was also controlling the P-61 that was had the twin fuselage like a P-38. Well, they had better and more equipment, and we called them the night fighters. They could go out at night. By this time, the Germans had a jet plane, and our planes could not touch them. And the only way they could get to them was cut them off on an angle. So when the Bulge hit, our crew of 5 men, we didn't have much to do because our fighter planes could not get off the ground to counter fog. And they could not do their job to try to help the infantry. They couldn't go to the infantry targets and bomb or straight. And that was one of the reasons that Bulge was such a success for the Germans. I'm through.
I'm Frank Rhodes from Topeka. I was born in Abilene, Kansas, and lived there till I was 2 years old and moved to the city of Tampa, Kansas. Now, you don't know where Tampa, Kansas is, but it's 30 miles south of Abilene. I joined the Army, and they sent me to Africa right after the invasion of Africa. And I was in the paratroops, the 509th Parachute Battalion, which was the first parachute battalion to go into combat for the United States. We jumped in Italy in '42, and I fought at casinos at Anzio, and then jumped in Italy, in France, fought in France, and then was sent up to the Bulge about 10 days before the Bulge started. And so we were very handy when it happened, and the 17th of December we ended up in Luxembourg and fought there till the end of the Bulge. And it was the second time I'd frozen my feet, so they kicked me out of the airborne, and the war was almost over then, and they made it home. My wife, and she was a military Army nurse. And my two of my daughters and two of my son-in-laws are here today. So that's about the story of it.
Now, do we have anyone else right here that wants to speak in this group of tables right now?
Fort Riley, Company 14th Tank Battalion. I was a gunner in Sherman tank all the way through. First combat was about the 1st of October in '44. Moved up on the line there in the Ardennes Force. And my combat was, well, the fellows have told you about it, I'm not going through all that. Around St. Rip, Bastogne, and Malmedy. We had 16 tanks when the bullet broke out. 3 days later we had 7. So they had paratroop, these tank killer teams in and knocked out a lot of our tanks. Well, mine was knocked out, so I just jumped out and found another one and got in it. Well, that takes care of the Battle of the Bulge, and we don't continued on after we reorganized at the end of the Bulge. Got new tanks, new troops. Went down to the Rhine River from Logan Bridge. That was another one of our major battles at the Remagen. And at that time I was a gunner in a company commander's tank. As soon as we crossed the river, he assigned me a tank myself, so I was tank commander all the way through up to Leipzig. Then we turned south, went down to Czechoslovakia, warning in May the 8th. And I now live in Junction City and retired Command Sergeant Major of the Tank Battalion here at Fort Riley. Thank you.
Put that mic a little closer, Carol.
I'll think about it.
All right.
Entered the service at Fort Riley from Lawrence County. And I wanted to get into I wanted to be an airplane mechanic. And that's what I got to be. So anyway, later on, they formed a new unit in Wichita, no, down in Mississippi, as a 406 fighter group. And we trained, I think, about 6 months before I crossed overseas. Landed in Liverpool, England, went down to southeast to London, last found southeast of London, to Ashford, Kent. And one of the first units that operated, fighter groups, operated under field conditions, the English Channel. And we operated about 30 days ahead of time, bombing and strafing before D-Day. And on D-Day, our unit was the first fighter group to fly cover over Utah Beach. And later on, I think, I remember, I think about around the end of July, we crossed the channel. I remember we got off the ship, a little landing craft. I was lucky, I got to stand on it, climbed up where the pilot was. The other guys that come on there got to sit down below. They got seasick just going in the shore. The bivouacked up overhead overnight, or just crossed over, went up Normandy Beach, and was bivouacked overnight. And it gave us some canned heat to warm in the K rations that we might need the next morning. And one of the guys did. He took his trench knife, took a little trench, put his a can of bacon and eggs on it, put it in kablooey,
It's got a bunch of holes in it. I don't know how many of us faster than bacon and eggs. But as we kept flying, moving on up closer, till we reached Mormelon. That's when the Battle of the Bulge started. We were stationed there. The 101st Airborne Division was stationed right next to us. We couldn't get our planes off the ground on account of foggy weather. And they were trucked on up to the Bastogne, is what I remember. And the 23rd of December, the skies finally opened up. We'd get our planes in the air. And about that time, my plane, I did a 25-hour inspection on it. And the found some cuttings on that oil filter. Well, that called for an engine change. So, well, the engine being changed, we had a shortage of clocks in each airplane. I took mine out because I knew if I ever came back to the sub depot, I would never have a clock. Well, that clock's laying over on the table.
How far away?
You had to have 10 hours of slow time on that new engine. They only got 8 until they had to have it. The first flight, he never came back. I think they lost, our squadron alone lost 6 planes. I know at least 6 pilots. I have the names there. It's in my book over there. And you know, the one that might add something that happened after the war, if you don't mind.
Got a minute.
We were, I'm not sure, I think we were still in Germany. We went, I think 5 or 6 airfields in France and moved up to Belgium, Ash, Belgium, and then on into Germany. And they asked our group to fly an air show for the Russians. Why, I don't know. But our group commander was Colonel Grossetti, and they flew made the letters USA, formed that, and the USSR, and the Russian version of that is CCCP. But the best part, Colonel Rosetta said, no radio, said radio silence. When I came back, flying over our field there, in perfect formation, S-H-I-T. There's been several things printed about it, but they never printed that word.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
My name's Art Cottrell from Corning, Kansas. That's in Nemaha County. I was drafted from there and got my basic training in Texas, and then I left there and went to, of course, over to England for preparation for D-Day. And I landed, I was in the 90th Infantry Division, 357 in M Company. We was machine gunners, air-cooled, thank heavens.